already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
That like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk, a member of the MBK family. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I know I say that all the time. The Knicks are 3-4. And I think if you had to guess, or if you asked where would the Knicks be after 7 games, you might have said 4-3 or 3-4. Not that big of a deal, right? You beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and the teams that are better than you on paper. You want to be competitive, see if you can steal one, pull it out. I think the Knicks just have not looked competitive for 48 minutes. Let's put it that way. I don't want to overreact, but they've looked so bad in the Cleveland game in the fourth quarter, in the Atlanta game, and it's just been 2 collapses, if you will. So we're going to talk tonight about what are some changes the Knicks can make. Are major changes in order? I say no, because it's still too early, but I definitely understand those who say yes, just given how we have lost. I appreciate everybody rocking with us. JJ, Kerry Cox, Monostar 718, Deron Wayne. Shout out to Tsunami, Jones, who's a bit under the weather, and I'm pretty sure how the Knicks have been playing and how RJ's been playing is not helping. But let's bring in the panel. We got Stafford, we got Ajay, we got Jerrell. How you guys doing?
Salute to everybody, man. Salute to the
Can't
chat.
complain. Good.
Yeah. Salute to everybody.
Yeah,
Knicks
man.
Nation.
Happy Thursday going into Friday. You already know how we do.
That's right. That's right. And let us know if anybody is kind of low, in the chat, and I'll try to adjust the mics. But it sounds okay. For me. Listen, let's start before we get into is it too early? What are some things we can do to be better as a team? Just give me your overall impressions of the Knicks over these first 7 games. Jerrell, I'll start with you, then Ajay, then Stafford.
Man, why you want to start with me?
You want to go last?
No. I'm saying people just gonna hate me first. That's what I'm saying. Like most of us got negative things to say about this team for the way we played the past week. So, I don't think we look good at all. I think everybody's to blame. It's not just RJ. It's not just Tibbs. It's not just Fournier. I don't think anybody is playing well right now. And
Right.
I don't know. Like even the front office gets blamed. We can even go that deep. Like I don't know. Everything is a problem right now. I don't like the way we look.
To put it mildly, yes. Ajay?
Well, and I'm gonna continue on. Actually, I'm gonna go a little further than Jerrell. I'm gonna ring the alarm. I'm panicking. I know it's only 7 games, but my way of thinking is, it seems like a tree. They're starting to grow crooked. You gotta straighten them right very early on. Otherwise, they get too far, of course, and you can't fix it. So we need to do something now. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. We don't have to run and trade or anything, but we could shuffle the lineup a little bit. We need to bring some change. We need to, the starting lineup, the rotations. We keep complaining about Thibodeau's rotation. For the first few games, it seems like he was starting to get it. He's starting to manage the rotation better, but then he goes right back to his old ways, and we're starting to get the same old results. Like he doesn't get it. So, yeah, I'm panicking.
Okay. All right. Staffer and anybody else in the chat that's panicking, concerned or panicking in the chat. Staffer.
I'm concerned. I'm not gonna jump off the ledge like AJ and panic. No, I'm not doing that. Right? As Queen stated in her first statements, we could have been 3-4. We are 3-4, or we could have been 4-3. We beat the team to the team that was good that we could have beat, right? But I do think we do need to make some changes in the backcourt. Tom Thibodeau, he is his rotation in the third quarter is just mind-boggling. It's just crazy. But, I'm not ready to jump off the ledge yet. I still think we do have time to straighten out these things and make a little changes. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to panic yet. I'm a little concerned, but I'm not panicking.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about our concerns before we talk about what we need to do. What are some of the concerns we have?
I mean, it looks like we're reverting back to Randle handling the ball for the most part. Why did that happen the last couple games? I don't really get that, because it seemed like we were doing fine with Jalen Brunson handling the ball for the most part. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like he had a good game every game, but he's still the point guard for this team. So ever since we reverted back to Randle handling the ball, it's not about winning or losing. It's about how we lost.
Right.
That's all for me.
Okay. What's your concern, Ajay?
Well, here's my concern, right? I mean, whether we in Knick Nation want to admit it or not, we don't have the level of talent that a lot of those teams have. Like, we're talking about like the teams we lost to, okay? Milwaukee Bucks, the Cleveland Cavs. We don't have that level of talent, okay? So in order to compete, we got to put the effort, okay? Atlanta, I feel like we're on the same, talent-wise, we're probably on the same level as them, but the effort wasn't there. That's what bothers me. It's not that like we lost, but we didn't put in the effort. Because you see, at some point we were up 23. That's because we can play with them. And then we fell off because we no longer put the effort. To me, that's a problem. It's like, how when Julius Randle's problem was in his head, the lack of effort is in our heads, is in the players don't care. That's a problem. Because you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't care, if you don't put in the effort, that's a bigger problem than not having the talent. That's where I'm concerned, because I don't see the effort.
Right. Okay. Staff up. What's your concerns? And then I'll get to
my concern is the perimeter defense of Evan Fournier. He is getting beat left and right, and then on top of it, he's not making shots at all. Period. So that's my concern right there. My other concern is Tom Thibodeau playing the starters 8 minutes, 9 minutes into the third quarter, and I don't think that's conducive for this team, because we had a lead, and to have the starters play 8-9 minutes and then try to bring in the bench to give it a jump start, I don't really agree, because you're wearing down the players. I'm playing them 8 minutes. I don't know what changed within the last 3 to 4 games where he had the rotations good. Randle was playing a certain amount of minutes in the third quarter. Obi would come in. It was a balance, but right now it seems like we reverting back to the old ways of last year of playing starters in the third quarter. And even though Randle is my boy, he's going back to his old self. I don't know if he's out of his head or he just panicking when he trying to play this hero ball at the fourth in the third quarter or whenever the game is on the line. You know what I mean? He needs to stop. Let Bronson handle the ball again. Make him put him in his right position, and let the game dictate to him. Right now, he looked like he's forcing it, and we need to get back to the first three games we were sharing the ball, not playing hero ball, and good rotations for the second unit. So that's pretty much my concern for right now. I do have more, but I don't want to be long-winded.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys pretty much covered it all. And some of it we knew before the season started. The perimeter defense I did not think would be this bad, but I did have concerns about the shooting coming in. Fournier, obviously, we knew about, his defensive deficiencies, but I thought his shooting would be better. I'm concerned that this team doesn't have a lot of fight in them. You lose a lead, the other team comes back, and it just seems like they kind of give up a little bit. But also, the roster construction. It's a flawed roster. And the teams that we're losing to are just better than we are. But again, that doesn't change how we're losing. That's the concern. How we're losing, the fight we're putting up or not putting up. But they are better. Let's see what the chat is saying. The roster is flawed, but it's always Fournier, Randle, and Tibbs for shaking my head. Nikki B from Harlem, Brunson has fallen off hard from his first 3 games, and it's impacting everyone else. We'll talk more about that. JJ, appreciate you. I don't get what the concern is. We knew this was a mediocre roster, didn't we? We did, and it's not about the losing. But JJ, you're not concerned with how we lost? Like that, to me, that's making it look worse. Kerry Cox, Brunson been a little different since going against DSJ. I mean, I wonder if it was DSJ or since that game we've played, 2 of the better defensive teams in Milwaukee and Cleveland, and not so much with Atlanta, but I'm wondering if that's it. And I'm wondering if he's feeling the pressure of not having the guys around him. Like in Dallas, he had guys around him. Now in New York, RJ's not playing well. Randle is not playing well. I don't know if he's that guy that's going to carry you when you don't have other guys around you. I see him as a major piece that kind of, if you have talent, he's going to lift the talent just a little more. But I don't see him as somebody that's going to be a number one on a team. That wasn't supposed to be his role.
Right.
Sharice Duncan, we have 0 stars, but our effort on defense sucks. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
My only concern is the young players aren't really improving. I mean, listen, I see improvement in Obi. I see improvement in IQ. I don't like they haven't burst out and become stars, but Obi's hitting the 3 at a very well as of late. Maybe not the first 2 games or so, but since then he's been hitting the 3 very well. He's pretty confident in what he does. I think IQ also is better as well. Defensively in terms of playmaking, his decision making is kind of hit or miss, but I think they have gotten better. I just don't think, like if we're expecting them to take these huge leaps, I'm not sure they're those types of players. And we can talk more. We could talk more about that. Steph Tibbs has me panicking. Obi hot. You want to bring back Randle. Give Brunson, RJ, Obi, Randle, either center a little run. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Tibbs. You do want to see, or at least I would like to see when somebody is hot that they get a little more time. Now in the last game against Atlanta, Randall only played 30 minutes, you know. But the thing about it is they both play the same position. So even if Randall gets 30 minutes, which he did, that still only leaves 18 minutes for Obi. White Falcon is Fournier. Everything is Fournier. Our defense needs help, though. Got to change the backcourt. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about all of that. 7 games in. What type of changes? Do you think it's just little changes in terms of the rotation and who starts? Do you think it needs to be big changes in terms of changing the coach, um, trading for a player? What are you looking for at this point? Little changes or big changes?
Well, it's still the beginning of the season. It's only been 7 games, so I don't really expect any changes at all, especially not from Tibbs. Maybe he usually goes like what the thing that happened with Kemba last year. When it like around 10 games, I think.
It might have been even more than that.
Was it?
Maybe was it 20 games with Kemba before he took him out the lineup, or was it 10?
I forgot, to be honest. It was one of those, but it was like a few weeks into the season, so I'm not really sure Tibbs is actually going to change anything. Grimes is coming back. That's good. Maybe he can take some of Fournier's minutes because of our defense, like Stafford said. Um, I don't know. I like the defense from Cam too. So either one of them starting over Fournier, I'm fine with, as long as both of them stay healthy. Both of them staying healthy. The way that we've been playing, especially with Fournier, keeping Cam and Grimes healthy is obviously essential, especially when it comes to our defense. I'm not too really that concerned about Fournier shooting because he's a shooter and his 3-point shooting isn't really that bad. It's just everything else. On defense, he's been really, really bad. So if anything is going to be changed, it will be that because of Grimes coming back. Maybe he can start. Maybe Cam can start, and RJ can either slide to the 2 or the interchangeable. It really doesn't matter. But other than that, I don't really see Tibbs making any type of change.
But Jerrell, so I used to think starting Cam and putting RJ at the 2 was a good idea, but the 2 is a shooting guard. So you really want to put RJ at the shooting guard position? I mean, he's not shooting well.
Well, I mean, I think small forwards at this point in time, small forwards shoot threes just as much as 2s do. So, I mean, he's going to get his shots regardless of where he plays on the floor. As long as RJ gets minutes, you already know how his mentality is. He's going to shoot the ball. It doesn't matter where he plays.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because that makes him the efficiency that drops. That's the problem.
You're right.
He's taking bad shots because he has to shoot the ball. He's attacking 3-4 guys at the rim because he has to shoot the ball. If there's 3-4 guys surrounding you, that means there are 3 guys open somewhere. Find one of those 3. It's that's the problem, that he's gonna get his shot off whether he's hitting it or not.
Yeah, right.
But I think this also speaks to the front office and how flawed this roster is, right? So, we need perimeter defense. All right, we're gonna put Cam in. What does that do to our shooting? You know what I mean? Like, we need shooting, so let's keep Fournier in because he's a shooter. But what does that do to our defense? You know what I mean? Is this roster, and we knew it coming in. You got shooters who can't defend. You got defenders who can't shoot. And I don't mean that you can't make a 3-point shot. I mean, like, you're not considered, you're not considered a shooter.
Right.
And those two things are our big problems. The perimeter defense is a problem. Our lack of shooting is a problem. And when you try to, if you just going with those on this roster, you try to address one, it weakens the other,
Right.
you know? But I'm willing to take my chance with better perimeter defense and just pray we start hitting some shots. Because I just can't witness people just in and out of the lane with no resistance.
Right.
Just getting any shot they want, getting anywhere they want to get on the court, and to shore that up, it's going to be even less shooting in the lineup if you take Fournier. If you take Fournier, out. Now, Grimes can help. He's probably our only two-way player, who can shoot and defend. But he's coming off an injury. You want to stick him right into the starting lineup?
Right. It's going to be a while before he plays. At least it should. But I don't know. Tibbs is kind of crazy.
I
Sorry,
still believe
I had
in
to
Cam
mute
Reddish.
you a little bit because it was noise in the background. Yeah. All right. So I got some questions. Is it too early? Some of them I think it is too early, but I'm gonna leave it to you guys.
Okay.
Is it too early to fire the coach?
Yeah. Like
Yeah, it's a bit too early.
Right. I'm already well documented as not being a Tibbs fan, but you can't fire him 7 games in. You gotta wait at least until, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think they're gonna fire him regardless. Like, I think this team will have to fall off a cliff in order for him to get fired in the middle of the season. But I don't know. I think it's way too early for that.
Okay. I mean, what do the rest of you think? And what does the chat think? Is it too early to fire the coach?
Queen, I think it's too late. They should have fired him last season. I mean, it's too early if you're looking at this season. If you're looking at last season, at the 82 games, he should have been gone. Now we're 89 games of the same nonsense. He's way too late.
Okay.
No, I'm not with firing Tibbs as yet. I'm not with that. I don't know why we want to fire him when he brought a different change of culture to the franchise. But with that being said, my tweaks, as Queen said earlier, I would bench Fournier, and as soon as Grimes get back into shape, or however his injury is, I would like him to start at the shooting guard, and leave RJ at the 3, and hopefully our perimeter defense could be slightly a little better, right? But in all totality, the whole team and the whole coaching staff, they need to do better. They need to run more sets. They need to put these players in better positions to win at the ending of the game. One of the things with Tom Thibodeau that bothers me a lot, and I said it earlier, is why are you playing the starters 8-9 minutes into the third quarter? And then you leave them in. They're tired. You bring in the second unit. The second unit mightn't do too good, and then you bring back in the starters right there with not even at least 5 to 6 minutes rest, and we get blown out like that. And it's the same thing from last year. So it's hard for me to say to fire Tibbs, man, because he has bring a little stability to the franchise, and the players have some of the players have been improving under his tutelage. So I don't, you know, I'll give it by the end of the season. If we don't look good, I don't know. It may be a change of the coaching, or probably
You
even
know,
the front office.
you guys,
I mean,
Knicks fans must really like to get punished. I mean, Thibodeau, he's a good coach as in trainer, but he's not a good coach as in manager. He's not, and that's throughout his career. He runs players to the ground. Like he just doesn't know how to use substitution. It's not. He's a good coach. He's a good basketball mind. He's just not able to. I don't know. I think he's confused between being loyal to his guys or doing what he has to do to win the game. I don't know. It's not there. He's not doing it. He's not getting the job done. On that alone, he should be fired. He's not getting the job done.
I don't think it's he's not getting the job done. I think he's just stuck in his old ways. He hasn't adapted to the new uh system of the NBA now. He talks about it, but
Nah,
I think if he has a game plan, he's going with this game plan, and that's what it is. He's not trying to tweak. He's not trying to make changes. It's just like tunnel vision. That's his way. Because you got to understand too, RJ. This guy is an old school guy. He's coming from the Pat Riley days. He's coming from Steve Clifford. All these guys that's been in the 90s have certain philosophies of coaching, and they're still stuck in their ways. If you look at the new coaches, you understand they bring in new different things into the scheme of the NBA. You know,
so I think we agree with each other. You're basically telling me that he can't coach this team in this era, in this generation. He's not getting the job done. And you know how you know he's not from this era? He's looking at the tape. Tibbs, ain't no tape no more. He ain't looking at the games. That's why he can't see nothing. Because ain't no tape no more. Everything's on a hard drive somewhere. He looking at the tape. So you know he's not looking at the game.
Well, he's looking at the hard drive, but he's calling it he's calling it the tape.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is, to me, Tibbs and the entire front office needs to go.
Yes.
I don't think it's just that Tibbs needs to go. I think Tibbs and the entire front office needs to go. Number one.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number
Queen Staff? That's coming from you?
Yeah. Number two, you know, as far as the rotations are concerned, he trusts his starters more than he trusts the bench players.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be thinking, you know, if I leave the bench in, we might lose this lead. You know what I mean? That may be why he's rocking with them so long. He gives the bench a very short leash. You know, he's rocking with them, like you said, 8-9 minutes straight. The bench comes in, they lose like 2-4 points. Boom, we gotta get we have to get the starters back in.
Yep.
Every coach has a philosophy. Even when we bring in a new coach, whoever it's gonna be, they're gonna have their own philosophy as well. You cannot win, and we're gonna agree or disagree with them. But we don't have the talent on this team as well. So to me, Tibbs is part of the problem. The talent on this team is part of the problem. And the front office who constructed this roster is part of the problem as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm not under any illusion that if we get a new coach, sure, you get a new coach, you might be able to pump out a few more wins in the beginning. But after a while, your talent level is going to tell the story. And our talent level doesn't match up to the rest of the teams in this Eastern Conference. You know? The other thing I'll say that's an indictment on Tibbs, though, is how your team, like the Knicks, just have no backbone. Like the Knicks have no resistance. You know, the team makes a comeback and the Knicks is like, all right, cool. We gave it our best shot in the first half. Y'all match that. You got it. We ain't got nothing left to try to, and I think I'm wondering, are they not listening to him? Has he lost the locker room? I'm not saying he has, but something is just not right in terms of how the Knicks is losing. I think it's going to be hard. The front office has about another year or so left on their contract, just like Tibbs. And I think that, if you don't believe in the front office, if they fire Tibbs, that's letting you know the front office is going to get their contract renewed. That's it. Because if I'm an owner, I'm not allowing you to bring in another coach for a year and a half.
Yep.
No, but Queen, they could get rid of Tibbs and promote one of the assistants as interim head coach. They don't have to bring somebody else. They could,
I don't want.
They can do that.
Bring Johnnie Bryant or Brunson.
Yeah, I don't want them as our head coach either, though. I don't know why.
I don't even want Steve Nash. Because he couldn't even coach. I don't know why White Falcon keep on bringing up Steve Nash this morning and tonight. No, bro. Yo, he had 2 superstars with him and couldn't do anything. Why would we want Steve Nash, White Falcon? Come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm not high on Johnnie Bryant either, only because I don't.
It seemed like everybody likes Johnnie Bryant because he's not Tibbs. That's it. You've never seen Johnnie Bryant head coach nothing.
I mean, but in all fairness, though,
because Nash is RJ's godfather. Oh, please.
But Mdoka.
Sorry, Queen. I was just looking at this.
That's okay. Mdoka, when he got the Boston job, he wasn't a head coach prior to that. Mosley, where is Mosley at now? I think, is Mosley in Houston or is Mosley in Orlando?
Orlando.
They weren't head coaches, right? They weren't head coaches. Like, this is their first head coach position. But for me, I would prefer somebody who didn't come up as a developmental assistant coach. Somebody who was lead assistant for multiple years. That would be my preference if the Knicks were to go with a young coach. Yeah, and I don't know if Johnnie Bryant has that type of experience.
Right. Like I like Udoka, but he was like you said, like he was a major assistant coach for years. Like I don't see Johnnie Bryant as that. And I don't know, Mosley, I'm not a big fan of Mosley, but I see what you mean though. I get it. It's not like he's a bad coach, but I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of him either. So I would rather not have Johnnie Bryant just be the interim / permanent head coach going forward. Now I want somebody else in.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be Johnnie Bryant. What I was trying to say is they don't have to hire a new coach.
Well, if they don't hire a new coach, then it is Johnnie Bryant or Brunson.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is associate head coach.
But Queen.
Yeah.
But Queen, look at some of the new coaches. You got the coaches in Utah. He got his squad at 6-2 or wherever it is. Look at the Memphis coach. I never heard him as any head coach or been assistant for years. So I mean, some of these coaches that have been on bench for a long time. I see somebody put Quinn Snyder. I see somebody spoke about what's his coach name? He's plays for Miami. He's a coach for Miami, and he played for Miami also too. I think his name is Quinn also too.
Chris Quinn.
Right. You got him. I mean, so I don't think it's necessarily you have to be on the bench for years, but it has coaches that's been there. They mightn't be a head coach, but you could put them in that position. So even if you put Johnnie Bryant there, let's see what he could do. Even if we put him there, we look at the coach But Quinn, hold on. Look at the coach in New Orleans. he was a assistant coach for 2-3 years, and he got promoted. And look what he's doing. So I mean,
I'm not
why
saying
not put in Johnnie Bryant?
I'm not saying that you can't put in a coach, that the Knicks should not hire a coach who has never been a head coach. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Right.
saying is when you look at these assistant coaches, each team has like 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some assistant coaches just make the lunch. Like they have an assistant coach tag, but they not really doing any X's and O's. You know, they got the assistant coach for development, the assistant coach for the lunchroom, they got the assistant coach for defense. So I'm
That'd be
interested in
crazy.
when you were the assistant coach, what was your role on the bench? Let's go after those
Word.
guys.
Word.
So my understanding, and I could be wrong, somebody in the chat, if you know better, let me know. Johnnie Bryant role as assistant coach was more developing the players.
Right.
I'm not sure how much of his role was X's and O's. I'm not sure how much of his role with Tibbs is X's and O's because
Right.
Tibbs don't seem to me like he listening to
I
anybody.
was gonna say that he'd be on the sideline, not talking to anybody the whole game.
You understand what I'm saying, Stafford? So yes, I don't mind a coach who's never been a head coach, but what type of assistant coach were you? Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What was your role as the assistant coach?
Like I
But
do
let me
like
just
him, though.
see what the chat is saying. Too early to fire Tibbs. I'd like to get to at least 15 games first. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing, but let's see how they respond to the Hawks loss. Oh, that's Tsunami speaks. I didn't even know who that was. Shout out to you, Tsunami. Get better.
Mm-hmm. Don't be getting us sick through the chat either.
Right. Nikki B from Harlem. Knicks have a better record than both Golden State and the Nets. Everybody relax. Hear you. Sherwin, I will trade Mitch before I fire Tibbs. And Mitch is Sherwin's favorite player on the team.
Right.
A-Train, it's not too early based on the skid marks left from the record last season. Similar to what AJ was saying. Quality jumper, we need new players, not a new coach. I think we need, you know, listen, a new coach, I'm okay with a new coach as well. But if you think a new coach is going to significantly change this flawed roster, I beg to differ. We need changes in this roster as well.
Yeah, I was about to say. I go as far as we need changing everything.
Yeah. Staff by
Wait,
Christmas.
let me ask you.
One second.
Wait,
Let me finish
I have
with
a
the
question.
chat. One
Okay,
second.
sorry.
Silk Sutton, Steph by Christmas, no changes by then. So basically, if nothing changes by Christmas, we should make a change. Real quick, I disagree. Tibbs is done. He lost the team. Kerry Cox, way too soon to get rid of Tibbs. Nick G, 2K1, never too early. Sherwin, the coach is the best thing we have going. And JJ, we're overplaying these players for no reason. Okay. Ajay, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna ask you. So you're saying you want change, but like, what do you have in mind? Trading or shuffling the lineup, or you don't think shuffle? We just don't have the talent. No matter who we put, we just have a bunch of number 3 guys, 3, 4, 5s. No matter who you start, you still not gonna have a number 1 and number 2.
Well, I think I think there's certain things you can do will be a little better, but I'm under no illusion that starting Cam is gonna bring us from the 10th seed to the 6th seed. You know what I mean? But we'll be in more games with better perimeter defense, right? And maybe have an opportunity to steal one at the end. I'm talking about against the better teams, right? So what I would do is I would strengthen up our perimeter defense, even if that means poorer shooting, right? So when Grimes is healthy, I don't know how long that's going to be. I would put Grimes in the starting lineup. But let me throw this out there, and I know this is very controversial.
Uh-oh.
I'm not averse to starting Grimes and Cam for perimeter defense and bringing RJ Barrett off the bench. I'm not adverse to that as well. I mean, RJ Barrett, I'm not talking about him offensively. We need his points, and he'll probably get the same amount of minutes no matter what. But that perimeter defense, if you got Cam and you got Grimes and they're both healthy and they're both engaged, your perimeter defense is much, much better. RJ tries to play good defense, and he will have good defensive moments, you know? But he gets picked off too easy. He dies on those screens, and I just think Cam is better than him defensively.
Yeah.
Cam has his own issues, and this is what I'm saying about how flawed this roster is. Cam is good going to the basket. Cam is decent catch and shoot. When he start going to that mid range and pulling up early in the shot clock and things like that, it's like I want to pull my hair out.
Yep.
This is how flawed the roster is. So no matter what change you make, you're strengthening one thing and weakening something else. Now, I don't think Barrett would ever come out of the starting lineup, but I'm okay with Cam and Grimes and RJ still getting his 30-something minutes, but rocking mostly mixing it up between the first team and the second team and closing games.
I'm all for
Tsunami,
it.
I don't want you to get sicker. I don't want you to, to feel worse after that statement.
Her fever went up, definitely, when you said that.
But RJ's been doing good with the second unit, though, so that wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
RJ has always played well with the second unit. He just never came off the bench, though. Like I said, I don't think that'll ever happen. Like Queen said.
I don't think it'll ever happen either.
Like even politics-wise, I don't think they will ever do that. It would have to be him getting injured and him coming back from injury for him to just lose his starting spot like that. Especially after they just signed him to that contract. No, that's not going to happen. They can't let that happen.
Right. Yeah. A-Train said, the only way RJ is coming out the starting lineup is by a trade. I don't disagree. Thomas Banks, he can't play with Randle. I guess he's referring to Cam.
Not that you meant RJ.
Oh, RJ can't play with him. Okay. All right. So we went through, is it too early to fire Tibbs? Is it too early? I think yes. But is it too early to put the front office on notice? I think it is too early to fire the front office, but is it too early to put them on notice?
Absolutely not. Nah, man. This front office hasn't shocked the world in any means. Like, it's been 3 years. I said this before. It's been 3 years, and they haven't drafted a starter yet. When it comes to trades and having the best players available, we try to go get them and never get them. But yeah, I think they could be put on notice. Like, it's a couple things or a few things that I see that I didn't like, especially after just playing Murray and Mitchell the last 2 games. And those are 2 players that, the fans actually wanted them to go after. So yeah, they definitely could be put on notice. Well, are they on notice from Dolan though? I doubt it. Like, I think, we're gonna go through this season and maybe they'll reassess next season, but I don't think they're gonna be changes until next season. But yeah, they could definitely be put on notice though. Their seats could be a little hot.
Well, we did bring in Jalen Brunson, but we had to also hire his daddy.
That is true.
Yeah, the front office has been kind of hit or miss with me. The first year we had the cap space and you running back with Noel and Burks and
that was terrible.
And whoever it was. Then you sign in Fournier and Kemba. Like, what are you doing? Like, we have money and we shopping at the dollar store. Like, I didn't quite, understand it. But then they did some good things as well. Signing Barrett for $107 million, and instead of giving him the max,
Queen.
Yes.
Queen, the only reason why I'm gonna give the front office just a little respect is because they don't want to be like the LOL Knicks back then with Steve Mills and Scott Layden and these guys. So they've been very conservative because they don't want to make the wrong move. And next thing you know, the fans with pitchforks in front of MSG, and then they talking about Dolan need to sell the team and all of that. So
Scared money don't make money, Stafford.
no, no, no,
You
no, no, no. I get that. I get that, right? But at the same time, as a front office, you have to move smart and strategically. You know, that's always the saying: scared money don't make money, else you ain't gonna see nothing, right? They did put their chips on the table for certain players, but certain players resigned back with their team. So what do you want them to do? So in a sense, they had no other choice was to probably run it back with the Noel and Burks or whatever, which they seen it was a mistake. So they came back the next year. They got rid of everybody. They have more youth, right? So in a sense, we are going in a right direction, but we don't have the exact talent, right, to compete with these teams that's been improving. So I'm not sticking up for them, but I just see it's a conservative approach that they're taking, not
all
to
right.
be the clowns that the past regimes was before.
Listen, that's not the only way not to be a clown. Being conservative is not the only way not to be a clown. Hit a home run, hit a triple. You're not
Right.
a clown that way. Make
Right.
the team better. You're not a clown that way. So being conservative is not the only way not to be a clown. In my opinion, the front office is too conservative, and in my opinion, they made some mistakes along the way. And now we got to give up, second round draft picks to get off of Kimball Walker's contract that only had 1 year left because we didn't have enough money to get Dorman Brunson, because we still need a point guard
Hmm.
after we lost to Atlanta. That told you right then and there we needed a point guard. Why are you
Right.
doubling down on just trying to put people around Randle and so that he can remain the main facilitator? It took you another year to figure out that's not going to work. All right, now we
So
got to
Queen,
bring in.
let me ask you a quick question, right? Real quick. So you rather was to give up, let's say, the four unprotected picks with
They were asking for
RJ and
3.
Glenn?
They
Well,
were
I'm
asking for
just, I'm
3.
just, I'm just bringing out a scenario, right? So you were willing to bear the cupboard for one player, and then after we don't have anything to work it out with.
Well, first,
I'd
let me
like to
tell you
answer
this.
that
Let
question
me tell
too.
you this.
Hell yeah.
We talking 3. They were asking for 3, not 4.
Okay,
Donovan Mitchell is better than RJ
all
Barrett,
the players, right?
right? Grimes is
Combined.
not even playing. So he's not even on the team right now. Like he hasn't played a minute. He played 2 minutes already. So no, I don't have a problem with that because you still got Randle on this team. You still got Mitch on this team. You still got Cam on this team. You still
Brunson.
got McBride and Sims on this team. You still have
Brunson.
Brunson on this team. You still have iHeart on this team. So that's a myth that we was giving up so much depth. We would have still had depth. This team is deep. We would have
Right.
still had depth. We would have been without 3 first-round draft picks. Now, if you want to make that argument, that's fair. That's fair. But the depth argument is not fair. We would have still had enough. We would have still had enough depth. But listen, the front office job is to make the Knicks better.
Hmm.
That's your job. We are 3 years into this regime. Is it 3 or 4 years into the regime? The Knicks went to the playoffs one time. You can argue that that was even a fluke. You can argue. I'm not going to say that. What else do we have to show for it but just a lot of assets and a lot of young players that we've overvalued? What do we have? What has the front office done The thing about it is our other front officers was so bad that because this front office is a bit responsible, they're great. No, they're not. They're middle of the road, in my opinion. Your job is to get it done. That's what you hire. You're hired to get it done. You know, we have not drafted a starter. We haven't drafted a starter. And we've been in the lottery the last 3 years, trading back.
And that's what's crazy to me, that everybody keep talking about all the draft picks that we have, but we haven't drafted a starter in the last 3 years. Like, so what about all the draft picks? And our team is so deep that we can't draft all of those picks anyway. We don't have enough roster space for all the draft picks that we have. So we're going to have to trade them anyway. So all those picks that we didn't trade for Donovan Mitchell for, we're going to end up trading them anyway and still not have Donovan Mitchell. Unless you want to get rid of some of the young players that you like.
You know the thing about it, Jerrell? You know, if we didn't play DeJounte Murray or Donovan Mitchell with these past games, we would have never been talking about stars like this, like, you know, like how they come in and just destroyed us. We would have never even be having this conversation if we had played them later down in the season.
No,
I think we would have been having it.
You know, because all of a sudden now is Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray.
Staffer, you brought up Donovan Mitchell. You asked me about what I thought about Donovan Mitchell.
No. And I get that. But what I'm saying is that if we didn't play these guys, we wouldn't have been mentioning anything about stars. We probably been just talking about how to improve the team.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how.
But at the end of the day, our philosophy is why we didn't go out and get a star, the front office. Why we didn't put the draft picks in play for a star. Why we didn't do this. Why we didn't do that.
That's not, Staffer. It's not uncommon for us to ask a question and it goes in the direction that it goes. The question is it too early to change the front office or to put the front office on notice? That was the question. And so when you ask that question, a lot of different things come up, including what has the front office done? You know, what has the front office done? So we didn't come in here talking about, oh, we lost 2 games, we need a star. We just talking about things that we need to do to improve this team. The front office is one of those things. And now you got to go through the front office record. And the Donovan Mitchell was one of those things, not even going after. I'm not sure how aggressive they was with DeJounte because they already had their mind on Brunson.
Yep. And
you know, you can have your mind on Brunson. Something else opens up. You got to go for it. But no, I don't know if this was the thinking. I'm just saying, this is my godson. You know, I think he would be right, you know, for this team. You know, we got his father on this team. You know, this is the direction we said we want to go. We got to keep going in this direction instead of who's available.
Right. That's part of the reason I think we never went after Halliburton too. While everybody was talking about Halliburton, we didn't draft him or trade it for him. There's a reason for that.
Because they might have been looking at Brunson 2 years.
I think they were. I think Brunson was the plan all along. I've always said that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think the front office seat should be warm. You think about what happened with the Rangers. That front office was gone quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
after a winning season, they were gone.
Yep. Anyway, we talked about that. It's not too early to start. I think it is too early to start Grimes because he's just coming back off an injury.
Yeah, if he was healthy, that wouldn't be a question. If he was healthy, Right.
Right. Is it too early to consider trading Randle or RJ?
Mm. Is it too early?
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Go
well.
ahead.
I mean, Queen. Before we started the show, I said to you that if he continues to play like this, I probably will be willing to trade him at the trading deadline.
And which one is this? This is Randle you're talking about.
Yes, Randall. As much as I like him, if he continues to play like this, inefficient, turning the ball over, going back to his old ways, not like exploding and slapping laptops. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his game,
Hmm.
right? If his game doesn't improve to where that we are winning, it doesn't make any sense for us to keep him here. So I say get rid of him at the trading deadline if we don't be over 500 at the trading deadline, and build the team around RJ or whoever that we draft, or even if we do be a top three pick in the lottery, go ahead and get one of those guys that's really looking good, the Scooter guy, or Wayambi or Wayambo, whatever his name is. So I'm willing to trade Randall if he doesn't improve. But if we have a winning record at the end of the season and we're somewhere in between, I'll say the 10th and 8th, uh, I- it's tough. But if it doesn't work out, man, we've been with this squad for like 3-4 years now. If we don't see a improvement or a playoff appearance, it's time to blow it all up.
What why would you build around RJ? What have you seen that would make you want to build around RJ?
I mean, we gave him 107, right? I mean, I'm not saying he's not untouchable, that he can't be traded, but if we could get a star to come in and play alongside him, it will be a piece. I see him as a piece to the puzzle for us moving forward. Because the him and the Randall thing is not working. Um, so I'm just saying, if we was to get rid of Randall, we at least have another person that we could at least is that's another piece that is there besides Jalen Brunson, and try and bring in a star so they could play alongside him. Never know, his game might elevate with that star. So that's why I said, for right now, try and build around him with a star. He could be a co-star, not necessarily be the man, but you gave him that money. So I mean, and he's young too. He's only what, 22.
All right, so we're
So
building
yeah.
around
So that's
him.
how I see it.
Okay, we're building around him because we gave him the money and because he's young. Giving the money could be another indictment on the front office, right? I mean, are we building around him because he's good, or are we building around him because we gave him the money and so we got to do something?
Mm. I think if we trade either Randall or RJ, is for different reasons. Like, if I trade Randall, it's going to be for probably like a addition for by subtraction. I'm trying to say, like
Mhm.
just to give Obi more minutes, open the floor up. And we already went through why we would trade Randall, like player wise. RJ would be like the perfect trade scenario for RJ was the Donovan Mitchell trade. Not to bring that back up because it was for a star. So I mean, now that you signed RJ to that contract and paraded him around like he is supposed to be the man, it's kind of hard to just trade him for anything now. Like, I don't see us trading RJ just for, like, I don't know, politics wise. I don't see it unless it would have to be for a star like caliber of Donovan Mitchell, and I would not build a sandcastle around RJ right now. I would not build a team around RJ. No way. Not the way he's playing. Like he would have to show me a lot and show me a lot for more than one season for me to.
Well, let me not say build a team around RJ. Then let me not let me preference my word. Let's get a star to build around them, so it could be with RJ as a piece in order for this team to improve. Because we see RJ is not the man. Only he got the money. He's still flawed in certain areas, and I
Yeah.
get that. And I get that,
Mhm.
right? So let me preference my words again. Not build around RJ. Let's trade Randle. See if we could get a star, something. Put some type of compensation on it, two unprotected, something just to get rid of him and bring in a star. So we could have Bronson, RJ, a star, and a couple role players, and probably we could improve that way because we see these guys is not doing it. I mean, I don't want to see it seems like I'm going over the ledge because it's 7 games. We still have 70 something games to go.
Mhm.
But if we don't see an improvement by Christmas or even the trade deadline, I think it's time to blow it up.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So what the chat is saying is Thomas Banks, you have to trade one. White Falcon 44, no trade. Start Cam. B Willie, why not RJ, yo? Nick Yak, Randall, 2 turnovers a game. We are not trading Randall. How is Obi helping the defense? We'll talk about that switch as well.
Hmm.
Okay. Knicks Nation 112, appreciate you. Queen, if you look at the history since the front office got here, their plan was to bring JB to New York with Donovan Mitchell. They depressed our assets and failed to develop IQ, DSJ, Frank, Deuce, then pick up D Rose and Kemba. I mean, the development is a tricky thing because I think there's 2 parts to it. You know, part of it is the player developing, hiring their own team and doing what they need to do to get better in the off season. And the other part of it is, the team as well, showing interest in you and giving you, that opportunity on the court to grow. I think there's 2 sides to it. I think Frank got every opportunity. I don't really think that was on the Knicks. And I think DSJ never really had a chance. He came in the KP trade. I think a lot of Knicks fans didn't accept him. Then he had a few deaths in his family, and he just
Hmm.
wasn't
Then he got
just
hurt.
then he got hurt. So there was just no traction with DSJ. And I think it was in his best interest to just move on and look at him now. You
Hmm.
know, sometimes players need to go through that. Need to go through some things before they get better. Appreciate you, Akuma Uzumaki. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry.
That's
Shout
a
out
good
to the
job.
queen.
That's a good
That,
job.
that's kind of close
Yeah, I
for
thought that
having a
was a good job.
sensible show and conversation, not just rambling on and on. Keep it up. Appreciate you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Nikki B, RJ isn't good. Wow. Wow. He's a solid role player. We need a star. Until then, we are a 500 team. If
If that,
if that the way we've been
right? You could have said
looking,
400.
right? This front office is giving me Mills and Fizdale vibes. The year we killed Kevin Knox, Tibbs is killing
Hield.
Obi and IQ now. I
I
mean,
don't
listen,
know if I could.
let's get into well, let me just get to this statement before we get into IQ. White Falcon 44, RJ and Randall are stars. Wow. 28 has to sit. Start Cam. We're good. I mean,
Ew.
Hey,
listen, it's 7 games. Is it can RJ turn the corner? Yeah,
sure.
he can.
Hopefully.
Can Randall turn the corner? Yeah, he can. One of the things I'm noticing with Randle is when you keep his responsibility really circumscribed, really boxed in, like those first few games, he played well. You start giving him more responsibility. Now we're going to share the ball 50-50, bringing it up, turning it over. Now, part of that was also playing harder teams. So I also wonder if they're loading up on Brunson now. Is it just too much for him now going against these tougher teams to bring it down the court every single time? And is he welcoming the fact that, Randle is bringing the ball up the court? But whether he welcomes it or not, Randle is just not as good doing it.
Mm-mm.
And Brunson we have to go back to 70-30. 70% of the time, 65 to 75% of the time, Brunson has to bring the ball up and initiate our offense. And Randle just do it, here and there. Brunson is not a star. Keith Turner, appreciate you. He better than anything we have on the team. So I'm not saying, I don't know if Keith Turner, you were saying he's not a star, you was answering somebody else, who said him. Yeah, if you have to give them less responsibility, they aren't stars. Exactly. A-Train, 100 million don't buy what it used to.
That's true.
But it's what you choose to. The Knicks chose to put that 100 million. They could have put that 100 million. Anyway. So we went through the "Is it too early" segment. Let's go to "Are we better" with these things I'm about to say, and why or why not? Are we better starting Obi Toppin at power forward over Julius Randle? Why or why not? And I'm interested in what the chat has to say as well.
No, not yet. Like I don't think Obi is a better basketball player than Julius Randle, and I don't think he's gonna I think that would completely cripple that team. That's not ever gonna happen.
But let me ask you this though: he may not be better overall, but do you think right now, given what we're seeing from Randle in these first few games,
for the fit, you mean?
Not necessarily. Do you think he would be? Is he better in that starting lineup than a flawed Randle, than a Randle that's turning the ball over, and a Randle who is missing brick and layups? I can't understand it. I keep bringing it up because I can't understand it. He got the little bounce. He gets right in there. I'm like, oh, look at him. His handle look a little tighter. Look at Randle.
Right.
Boom. Bow. Bam, right off the backboard. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue that, but I still don't think you just bench him for Obi for that. But it's hard to watch because if that's the case, you might as well put in Cam for RJ. If that's the case, because he does some of the same things and some of the same frustrating things that Randle has done. But I was about to say, but
sorry, Ajay. Wow, I didn't even see you down there. Sorry about that.
I got cut off, so I'm back.
Okay, I thought you got fed up with us and you just left.
Nah. We started talking about the front office. He was like, "Bloop, I'm out." I forgot what he was talking about. Who was talking about?
We was talking about
OB instead of
starting Obi Toppin.
I think that would be crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like if it happens, I'm crying. But I think, if you thought Randle was going to be a problem before, like him coming off the bench, the way his face would look on the bench, like that wouldn't be, that would not make the team successful. Like you have to trade him if you're going to bench him at this point.
With his attitude, he's probably declined to come in. He probably told us, "Nah, I'm good."
Right, he's not coming in off the bench, yo. No, he'll tell his agent, "I'm out of here," before that happens.
Okay. I don't think it's something that would ever happen when Tibbs if Tibbs is here. I think the only way it would happen is if Julius Randle was traded.
Mhm.
But the question is, are we a better team? Staffer?
Oh boy, man.
You can't say yeah. Not if you say you
No,
can't say yeah.
because it's like, you know, I want to see Obi play and make him get more minutes, but at the same time, in certain crunch times, can Obi put the ball in the floor and go get us a bucket? I don't want to always see transitions and he's running out, and I want to see him defend the ball more. I want to see him block a couple shots. Not saying Randall don't do those things. You understand what I'm saying? But it's hard for me to say just put Obi in the starting lineup and we'll be better, right? Because Obi still has flaws. I'm not saying Julius doesn't have flaws too, but at this point in time, I don't see Obi cracking a starting lineup um, just to give Obi some minutes.
No, no, no,
Um,
no, not to give them minutes. Just are we a better team? Like we're looking at how do we get better? What can we do? To get
to,
to get
well,
better.
to me, if Randall keeps on playing like the first three games where he was sharing the ball, making right decisions, giving up to Bronson, yeah, we a better team. Um, I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough because people want. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Queen. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, I'm gonna get this in before AJ goes in. AJ, you could take it. You could take it away. Um, I don't think we're a better team with Obi starting because of the rebounding and the defense. Um, so no, I don't. But
I didn't even think about it. Who
yeah,
rebounds?
the
I
the
didn't think about
rebounding and
that.
the defense, and it's one less person that. So then now that's more responsibility for RJ, right? RJ has to bring the ball up now with Brunson because Obi will not be bringing the ball up. Obi will basically be playing off of those two guys. So what that does, especially if Randall is not on the team and you're starting Obi, what that does is RJ's usage comes up more, right? Because Obi is somebody that's going to play off of those guys. He's not like Randall where he's going to facilitate the offense or any of that. He's going to play off of those guys. So that's more usage for RJ. So now you got Brunson and RJ basically being the two main guys, right? RJ is not playing well, and Obi basically waiting, you know, for a pass so that he can get off a 3-point shot, and he has to rebound and he has to defend. So even though Randall is flawed, um, and not playing, I mean, he's playing well in some respects, but he's just not finishing, and he's not the assertive person that I need him to be. I still think I still think we're better with him in the starting lineup. But one thing I want to point out is we always pick in between Randall and Obi as if there's no other options at the four in the entire NBA. It doesn't have to be Randall or Obi. If we move off of Randall, why can't we bring in somebody else that can shoot, defend, rebound? Why does it have to just be Randall or Obi?
Because Twitter and people like Eddie F will go crazy. Hashtag free OB and OB this and OB that and give him more minutes. Queen, sometimes you need to troll Twitter and see what these guys be talking about. Shout out to Julito in the chat too on his podcast. Those guys be going off too. Give OB minutes. You know what I mean? So to trade Randall and bring in somebody else and not let OB start, man, this fan base will go crazy.
But
This
that's
fan
okay.
base,
It's not about the
this
fan
fan
base, though.
base,
It's about
this,
us.
this Nobody understand that, but
Yeah,
the
he
way
ain't
how these the way over some of these oversensitive Nick fans be, it's like the sky is falling.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
Just like we was talking about, you was talking about RJ coming off the bench. Can you, if that happens, I don't know, you would think that the Statue of Liberty put her other hand up, like things would change. People will go nuts if RJ all of a sudden lost his starting job and was coming off the bench for like Grimes or Cam. People will go nuts.
Right. B baller. What is that? B baller
For
for
real.
real.
Mm.
Listen, that's the question for the front office. We just voicing our opinions. That's the question for the front office. You know, the front office could have moved off of Randle and created space for Obi Toppin. The front office didn't have to bring in Hartenstein, which basically solidified the fact that those two guys were not going to play together,
Right.
right? So that's the question for the front office, not the, not the fan base.
Like I already said, the front office hasn't drafted a starter yet. And Obi was their first draft pick. If he was capable of starting, he would be. Like they wouldn't have re-signed Rand. Well, I guess they probably would have re-signed Randle. Like they almost didn't have a choice after the season that he had, but they would have got rid of him if Obi was good enough to play starter minutes. Like it would make them look good if he did. So the fact that he's not starting, that should tell you something.
Right.
Like Randall was here before they even got here. Like they don't have any ties to them. So yeah, like if Obi was definitely ready to start, he would be starting to me.
And I see somebody put Christian Wood and Jay Crowder. They would not move the needle for this team. So why are we looking at bringing in a person like Christian Wood or Jay Crowder? Well, what would they do for the Knicks? They're not stars. We just said we need stars. You know, Christian Wood and Jay Crowder would not move the needle for us.
I do like Christian Wood though,
I
not
like
Jay
Christian Wood
Crowder.
too. But I
Not Jay
agree with you,
Crowder.
they're not stars.
Yeah.
But I think Christian Wood is playing much better than Randle right now. But when you got a Luka Doncic, sometimes he
Right.
make people look better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
maybe he's making Christian Wood look better. But I do like Christian Wood because listen, we need a 4 that can shoot the 3-pointer. That's it. I like Randle. If you're not gonna hit the 3-pointer, then you need to be money at the rim. You need to be
right.
money in the rim at the in the mid range. I mean, come on. The mid range, the finishing at the rim, the 3-point, like no. But for me, I'm not thinking moving off Randle for Obi. I'm thinking of moving off Randle and who else can we bring in here? That can start at power forward, that can defend, rebound, score, hit the 3 at a consistent clip. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And the last question, the are we better in the are we better segment, because we talked about Johnnie Bryant already. We talked about Cams and Grimes and would we be better with Cams and I mean, we talked about it, but this is a different way of talking about it. I understand that it'll never happen. I understand that the fan base would explode, but are we a better team with Cam and Grimes starting?
Oh, and RJ coming off the bench. Say, why you going to see? Steph want us to get lynched in here. I guess when you
Oh,
talk
for
about
real. 1 second. We have a 4 that can shoot the 3. It's not just shooting the 3. It's about also rebounding and also defending the position. So if we move off Randle, I just said, it's not just bringing in somebody that can hit the 3. It's also bringing in somebody that can rebound and defend the position.
Yeah, like we was talking about Obi starting, like with him starting and Mitchell Robinson, the way that he rebounds, no way. No, we can't do that. We'll get out rebounded. We'll get killed on the boards. The way Obi plays power forward.
Boy, I mean, you on the chat throw tomatoes at you, bro, because the way how some of this fan base love Obi, you know
Right.
what I mean, it's a indictment if we say that how, you know what I mean, he should just get 15 minutes because of his play. But reality is we need him more on the defensive board, not always running out, you know, and doing prolific dunks, which is all good, fine, and dandy. You get the crowd rowdy, it brings energy to the team, but we need more from him. That's why you see he's not a starter in the league as yet. And I agree with you, Jerrell. We put him in the lineup. I
No
mean,
way.
might as well just say we just go into the lottery and just play all the kids, Sims, McBride, and everybody. You know what I mean? And that's what some of these fans want too, for us to tank and not be I mean, we're going to be competitive with the young guys, but we're not going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Obi Toppin has improved. I'm the first one to say that. In terms of his ability to hit the three, how comfortable he looks on the floor, putting the ball down. But now we're talking about starting. We're talking about going against other starters, and we're talking about being able to rebound and defend. That's my only issue: rebounding and defending. But anyway, are we a better team starting Cam and Grimes?
Nah, I wouldn't say we're a better team.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Not better. No.
I wouldn't say better until we have probably increments of better perimeter defense with Grimes in the lineup. I still like Cam coming off the bench because it gives us another punch and power besides quickly and Obi just running out for dunks. So I would like Grimes in the lineup to just give us a better, more perimeter defense. A better, you know, as you can say, both of them is only the two best two-way players that we have on the team. So you know, it would improve our defense slightly, but it wouldn't put us over the edge.
Yeah. I
Ajay?
say start one of them.
Mhm.
Grimes and Cam. I, as I said earlier, I'm willing to try anything. I want to shuffle the cards, man. I want to shuffle the cards and see what happens. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't think it would be a bad idea. I mean, I think if played the same amount of minutes as RJ, I think Cam Reddish could probably give you the same amount of points with better defense. I mean, he's longer, more fluid, more athletic. I think he would probably give you better. So that wouldn't be a bad idea. And of course, we know Grimes and Fournier. You know, Grimes win that one. So it wouldn't be a bad idea. I'd try it just for a few games to see what we get.
Much as we crapped on RJ Barrett this show, we do have to talk about his durability, though, especially compared to the two players that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
Glass one and glass number two. Yeah.
right. Like RJ would definitely at least show up. So that's tough.
So are we just putting in Cam for defense? Do we want him to score also too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he's
definitely.
definitely going to score, but I guess it just depends on how. He's
Well,
definitely
that's what I'm saying. So if we do put him in the lineup with the amount of ball hog that we have on this team already, I guess his shot selection would just be corner threes and any how he gets the ball in the rebound or offense, I guess.
pretty much. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't like that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that's how I'm saying how the roster is flawed.
Mhm.
Your perimeter defense is gonna be, better, but Grimes will give you better shooting. You know, Cam is actually shooting like 40% on the season, right? He's shooting like
Yeah,
he's not shooting bad though.
right. It's the other stuff that you was talking about before, though. The inconsistency, like in between going
Right.
to the basket and shooting. Like he can
Yeah.
obviously do both of those, but if you give Cam the ball like at the elbow and he do a couple more dribbles, you know that ball is going up one way or another. Like he's not going to pass the ball at all.
He get real
And
happy. Once he get to
right,
that third dribble, he's not
it's over.
passing.
It's over.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why you see I like him off the bench. Because with IQ, sometimes bad decision, chucking up shots. We could revert to him, and him could get us some offense also too. But at the same time, I don't see a reason why we can't have him in 4 quarters. Let's say for instance a JB, a RJ. Um, let's say we even put him at the. No, I can't. Nah,
Mm.
I can't say that to put him at the 4. So then after, what we gonna put Randle? 'Cause I know Randle ain't gonna play the 5 and have rim protection, because Tibbs is a rim protection guy. So I would say, put him in the 4 quarter in certain plays to slow down the defense, because I think in the Memphis game and what else game did I see him finish the 4 quarter, and I had liked that lineup. I think it was JB, Randall, Cam, RJ, and I think either Hartenstein or Mitch, right? And I had liked that closing lineup because it gives you perimeter defense, and even though we don't have much shooters, it still give us a little offensive punch. So even if Cam don't start, I would still like him to see him end the games at some nights, either between him or Grimes, whoever is cooking.
All right. I have 2 more questions. As far as shooting is concerned, would you trade Fournier
Yes.
for Buddy Hield?
Uh, ooh.
Both of them have their salaries match perfectly. But you're gonna have to incentivize that. Like I don't think they're gonna why would they trade? They both got 2 years left.
Right.
Buddy Hield is a better shooter
And
right
he's younger.
now.
He's younger too.
I don't know. He's 32. He's 30 as well. I mean,
Oh, wow,
30 as
Buddy
well.
Hield's 32? Like, I didn't know they were the same age. Oh, wow. So, yeah, no, I still wouldn't do it, dude.
He's just as bad a defender, though.
Yeah, I don't.
He is. He
It's,
is.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Who is more bad on defense, either him or Fournier.
Yeah, I might as well
Yeah.
give me Fournier, because at least Fournier is a little tougher, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm even arguing that. See, it didn't come right outright when I said it. So I see your face when I said it. It didn't come right. You right. They're about to push either way.
I think he would fit better.
Hield?
I think Hield would fit better because he's just catch and shoot without the defense. Catch and shoot without the defense.
Yeah.
Fournier is catching and shooting and dribbling and and trying to do a lot of different things, and none of them is working.
But Queen, would you think in a better defensive scheme, Buddy Hield will be much better on defense?
You can't scheme Buddy Hield, man. He been a bad defender forever.
Long
Like, he was never a good defender.
No, but because the only reason why I say that, right? Because I'm not saying we know Bill Walton wasn't a good coach, right? And then we have what's the name of the coach there in Indiana? He won the championship with Dallas. What's his name?
Rick Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle, right?
If you can't play defense under Rick Carlisle, you can't play defense.
Stafford, listen. So at least Fournier tries. He doesn't have it, but he tries. Buddy Hield doesn't even try.
No.
Buddy is like James Harden.
No.
Buddy is like James Harden.
He's like,
oh,
okay.
oops, sorry, I was in your way. I mean, let me get out of your way. He hasn't tried.
Yeah, I think he would be a better fit, but
No,
defensively,
go ahead.
defensively, yeah. Listen,
Sure.
can I get a two-way player?
No, Steph. They don't
Can I
grow
get a
on
two-way
trees,
player on the
Steph.
wing?
They don't grow on trees, man.
I'm so
No.
jealous of Toronto. You look at Toronto; they got two-way players across
Oh.
Van Vliet, Siakam, Barnes, OG Anunoby. They just got two. They can switch.
They drafted well, Steph. We don't draft well. That's what it all boils down to. We haven't in decades. That's just our MO.
The African know how to. What's his name? The African. What's his name again? The
Siakam.
GM up there. What's his name? No. Oh God, what's his name?
Masai Ujiri.
Oh, Ujiri.
Yeah.
Ujiri. He knows how to draft. He knows how to put a team together. So I mean, kudos to him, man. He know what he was doing. He knows talent.
And they,
You know,
but they also,
and I don't think that he will give any of his wing players to the Knicks because he
Yeah.
doesn't like the Knicks.
but Eddie was saying, why not explore the OG trade again? I don't think OG is available anymore. Have anybody heard whether or not he's available? I don't think he's
I haven't
available.
heard anything. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he's available anymore. But the other thing, Stafford, is they have an identity, they know who they are, and they only take players in that mold. The Knicks had the opportunity to do that as well. You know who Tibbs is. Why are you signing Kemba and Fournier?
Right.
You
But
know,
then drafted
I don't know.
guys
I don't know what they saw in Kemba. That that is still a question up to this day. I can't figure out. They know his knees was gone. It's bone on bone, as AD would say, on his knees. I'm still baffled at that signing.
desperation. That's all that was. Desperation.
But by the same token, guys, I'm surprised they didn't go after the DeJounte Murray because he is a Tibbs. He's a perfect Tibbs player.
what I'm trying to say.
Perfect.
But I think,
I'm
but I
surprised
think
they
they
didn't go after
already had JB in the burner, the back burner, and they didn't want to turn back on that.
Yep. That's all that was. Because they made it seem like they didn't even try to go after him at all. So that should tell you they already had a plan in place.
Yeah. And the last question in this segment: are we a better team with iHeart starting?
Oh,
No.
that's a
My
good question.
answer is no.
I would say no, just because I don't know. He might be a better player, and we need better players coming off the bench too.
You need that spark off the bench. He brings a spark.
Right. Like if Mitch was on the bench, that forces IQ to play the point guard more. I've noticed when iHeart has the ball, like I'm not saying that he's a point guard, but the offense does run through him a lot. I actually like that. If he's in the starting lineup, that won't happen at all.
Mhm.
So, like to me, even though I think he's probably a better player than Mitch overall, it's better for him to come off the bench.
Yeah, I agree.
You think Hartenstein is a better player than Mitch overall, Jerrell? That's what you said?
Yeah, overall, like Mitch definitely does
He's a
things
more
better.
skilled player.
Yeah, Mitch definitely does stuff better than iHeart, but overall, yeah, iHeart is a more skillful basketball player than Mitch is.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah,
And plus, it's not like when I say better, it's not like the gap is wide. They just do completely two different things. So,
completely different players.
like they just two different players. So if I had to pick one, I would pick the skill set of iHeart over Mitch. But they're both good at what they do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think we're a better team with iHeart in the starting lineup, because our perimeter defense is so piss poor. that you need Mitch back there. But if our perimeter defense was better, like say we had two-way players at the 2 and the 3, guys who can defend, guys who can shoot, I would start iHeart in that type of situation, because you don't have to worry about having that rim protector back there if you can defend the perimeter.
Right.
But because we don't have that, we need Mitch in that starting lineup, for sure. And I need Mitch to be a little more disciplined. I get it, Mitch. You all over the place trying to cover up a lot of holes, so you got to move from here to there and here to there. I get it. But some of them fouls has nothing to do with that.
He got to be more disciplined.
Yeah, a little more disciplined. But he has a heavy workload with this team. Trust.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
He has a heavy workload with this team. I'm hoping against Philly that there's a change at the at the wing.
Harden is out for a month, so we wouldn't be seeing homeboy tomorrow.
You talk about the game for
Excuse
tomorrow?
me, what you say?
Harden is hurt.
We play Philly tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So Harden is out for a month.
Steph, you said you want to change at the wing tomorrow?
Stafford, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Well, now we can. What did you say about tomorrow?
No, I said Harden, he's out for a month. He's injured.
Yes. Harden is out for a month.
Yeah, he's out for a month, so we ain't gonna be seeing him tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the Knicks still. Somebody else is gonna step up. The Knicks have to really focus on themselves and not who else is going to be there. Now, I know Embiid didn't play the last game. I don't know if he's going to be there tomorrow. I think they played PJ Tucker, so maybe Embiid and Harden is out.
You still got Milton. You still got Maxey, who's been playing lights out.
Oh my God.
You still got Harris. Look, we played some teams without their stars, and they still took us to overtime or extra minute or two. So who is to say these guys don't come in and play just hard because Harden and Embiid is not there? We can't overlook Philly regardless.
Definitely not. They could still beat us without Embiid and Harden. The way we've been playing, yeah.
So I think it was a non-COVID illness. It might have been just a rest day. I'm not sure.
Oh.
If he'll probably be back.
Who, Embiid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Missed. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say Doc Rivers is on the hot seat as well, but I don't want Doc. I like him, but it's
Hell
just
no.
every spot that he's been in, the team just hasn't gotten over the hump.
Well, Queen, and as I was saying earlier, him, Steve Clifford, Tibbs, all these guys is from these old eras, man. If you really look at it, all of these guys is from these old eras, and they still not going anywhere. He was with the Clippers. He got swept how many times? He got lucky in Boston with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and whoever else he had on the team.
Well,
These coaches, some of these coaches is washed up, man.
So is Steve Kerr, man. Those are the same group of guys. Steve Kerr, I understand you got a different kind of roster over there, but these are the same Those guys played in the same era.
His roster different though.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that they
Roster
they
crazy.
they 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 got a different roster, and he has nuances, and he understands the new ambience of the NBA, man. You know, he's just like a young guy too. If in my opinion, Tibbs and Rivers, these guys is old, man.
Do you? But
These
like,
guys still stuck in their ways. I wouldn't want him as a coach in New York either.
yeah. Shout out to Steve Kerr. A lot of his success has to do with the players he had. Steve Kerr over here on the Knicks, and maybe we win a few more games.
That's why he didn't choose us over
Yeah.
them at the time.
Right.
He knew what it was.
Right. The Warriors just lost to Orlando. They are 3-6.
Yeah, I don't care.
No,
Sleepy
I mean,
Crab,
we're
though.
talking about how he's a new thing. It's you gotta. I think coaching is important. Don't get me wrong, coaching is important, but the most important thing is to have the players.
Right. Yeah, I know Golden State is doing bad right now, but nobody expects them to miss the playoffs.
Listen, they 3-6 now. Look, by Christmas it's gonna be a different tune. I'm not worried about the Warriors. They're gonna be okay. We gotta worry about the Knicks and see if we can battle back up to being at least a respectable competitive team.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikki B, y'all are overestimating the role of the coach. It's about the players, and our players are mid. I agree. I do think, like for me, it would be like 60% player.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm
What?
50-50
Yeah.
of that.
You think it's 50-50?
Yeah, I would say 60-40.
I
But
think it's a on case basis. I think it depends on the roster in question and the coach in question. I think it's different for everything. Like, I don't know. Just depends.
Paris Duggar, Miles Bridges, Charlotte took a plea deal, no jail time.
We not getting Miles Bridges.
No.
I don't see
they're
that
gonna,
at all.
yeah,
In
the
this
NBA
market?
gonna suspend him. They're gonna suspend him, but there's a team that's gonna pick him up though as soon as
Oh,
he
yeah.
come off that suspension.
But
Most
he's
definitely.
still under Charlotte
Yeah.
still has his
Bird rights.
yeah.
No, he has one last year though. He was supposed to sign like I thought
Nah,
he did. Wasn't this year his last year
I thought he was
on the old
unrestricted.
contract?
I
No,
thought
he
he was
was restricted.
unrestricted.
He was restricted.
Oh, he was restricted. I thought he was unrestricted. Okay.
He was restricted.
Oh, so I guess what they do, they have the rights to him then,
Mhm.
because they didn't give him a contract. So I don't know how that works.
But something to do with the qualifying offer.
It's still on the table because,
On-
like,
right.
I don't know. I don't see how.
And
they'll
if
be
he
able
doesn't
to-
sign it, then he becomes unrestricted next year. Is that how it works?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Nikki G 2K once say he's restricted.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but I'm trying to say, like, if they give him the qualifying offer, I don't know how that works when it comes to like legal troubles and stuff. Like, I don't know, can they just sign him?
no, but the NBA gonna suspend him first, and then after I guess they might, because in any legal situation they want to see what happens first, because you don't want to sign a player next thing he goes to jail.
Right.
So what they're gonna do, in my opinion, I think they're gonna let it play out. They said he copped a plea deal. When everything is over, the NBA could suspend him for how many games, and then after that, whatever Charlotte wants to do, they're gonna do, or if he may go on the open market.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
technically, he's still a Charlotte Hornet.
Got you. Yeah, I don't know what with his background, I don't think he's going to work here. Like not with this media. I don't. Nah. I think he's either going to stay in Charlotte down there because the media is so small, or go someplace else, like Sacramento or something like that. He's not coming here.
Or Utah. This is like no
Or
media.
Or Utah. That makes perfect sense for them.
Yeah.
But here though, nah. Tibbs be asked
But wait,
questions.
why would he go to? Why would he go? But why would he go to Utah when they got marketing over there? Does marketing start at power forward?
Marketing is versatile. You can
both of them are. Both of them can play the 2 and the 3. Bridges played both when he was
the 2 and the 3
and the 4.
I mean,
you mean the 3 and the 4?
3 and the 4.
3 and the 4. You're right. 3 and the 4.
Oh, the 3 and the 4. Okay.
He plays both, but they both played both.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he's coming here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Anything I didn't ask? Anything you want to talk about?
I don't know. It's after 11 o'clock. The chat usually give us something. We get loose after 11.
Yeah, everybody's shocked, man. The way we lost that game yesterday, man.
Well, I see Trav said,
yeah, I mean the Hawks literally snatched our heart, bro. As Queen said earlier, I don't see a fight either. It's like we just lay down. Like they just snatched our lunch money and say, here, come get it. And we ain't do nothing.
Somebody said he's a free agent.
Dunking on I'm gonna have to research. That and find out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I seen up there. Trav said that he pleaded no contest, so that's different than being guilty. They're not going to suspend him. They can still suspend him though, even if
they can still suspend him. Yeah.
And knowing the way the the way 2022 works, they have to suspend him. Like if this was 10, 15 years ago, then no. But now they're going to have to suspend him. Once the team receive qualifying, all the players becomes out. So they
did rescind the qualifying offer?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out because I don't know. It seemed like when all the legal trouble happened, I thought something happened like that, like he was a free agent and nobody's going to touch him. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure. I don't know.
Because of the whole court thing. That's what I just said before. Now that the court thing is over with, they probably suspend him, and then after they suspend him, he's probably going to be unrestricted, where anybody could sign him.
So they never rescinded. They never gave the offer. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know, man. We'll see.
It's just like that guy who played for Cleveland. All those things that he did, they waited it, even though they signed him, they still waited it out, do the suspension, and then after he came back. I know the NBA and NFL is two different things, but at the same time, when you do something wrong, it's like you're going against the NBA shield, and because you represent the NBA, so they are, I do look forward for a suspension for him. And then after whichever team want to pick him up, they'll pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Anything else?
Did they suspend Kyrie Irving? I thought I heard something like that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 games. 5 games. The Nets did that, not the NBA.
A minimum of 5. He has to do like sensitivity training and stuff like that. But it's a minimum of 5 games. Like if he doesn't do what they said to do, it's going to be longer than 5 games. But it's a minimum of 5.
Right.
So he's not getting paid for those 5 games because the NBA is tricky. Like the NBA Player Association don't play around with those things. They can't revoke his contract unless I don't know. There are very few set of circumstances where they could annul his contract.
No, I think when you get suspended, you don't get paid when you get suspended. That's the whole point of being suspended. That's your punishment. You're not getting paid. It's not the
So,
Yeah.
so,
actual
so
people.
let me so let me ask you this: what did he really? Did he say something bad against Jews or something like that? Is that what it was?
Oh, I have no idea
He
what he said.
retweeted something to that effect. Yeah, he didn't say anything.
Right.
So it's not like
I
he
think it was a
promoted.
movie, anti-Semitic movie from what I understand, documentary.
Yeah, on Amazon, and it's not like he promoted, or I guess you would say that he promoted it because he retweeted it, but he did not endorse it, and he didn't say anything. But yeah, you're getting hot water just by retweeting something like that.
But I'm saying though, isn't this country predicated on free speech?
Mm-mm.
So
It
now, because was it a hate crime? Was it a hate speech?
That what I don't
Was it a
understand is
hate
that was
tweet?
that wasn't even a speech. That was he retweeted. So he didn't produce the
No,
documentary or anything. He just I don't know what the
no,
tweet
no,
was,
no.
but
But
it,
what I'm saying, no, but what I'm saying to you, even though he
After
retweeted it, was
we're trying to explain.
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
There was the content of the documentary, from what I understand, had some anti-Semitic content in it, and a lot of what was said was not true,
Right,
basically. Um, and him retweeting it seemed to be that he was endorsing the
right.
um, um, the documentary.
Hmm.
And this is not about free speech. You gotta keep in mind that Kyrie works for the NBA, right? And that there are, just like when we work for a company, it's not about our personal beliefs. You can have your personal beliefs. Trust me, that there's people probably working in the NBA right now that has issues with certain groups of people. They keep it to
Hmm.
themselves, though. Once you put it out there, you're a representative of that company. And in this case is the NBA. And they have a right to say, you
yeah.
know,
Hmm.
um, that's not the image that we're trying to uphold. That's not what we're trying to support, blase, blase, blah. And they have a right to suspend you for that. The issue I'm having is people are asking him, like in the press conference, are you anti-Semitic? Yes or no? He doesn't have this is not about his personal. He's entitled to whatever his personal beliefs are. To me, this is about you work for this company. This is not what we're about. We either
Right,
gonna fire you or we're gonna suspend you. This is not a moral issue that people, would I like him not to be anti-Semitic? Sure, I would like us all to love each other and love all people and blase, blase, blah. That's not how the world is. People don't
right.
like other groups of people for whatever reason. You have that right, but you can't, working for a company, put that out there. And I
And
think that's the confusion in the media. Are you anti-Semitic? Oh, he needs to, apologize for being anti. He can be whoever he want to be. He can
right,
believe whatever he want to believe.
and
But
especially, I'm sorry, especially
Mhm.
if the commissioner of the league is Jewish himself, you're not going to get away with just retweeting something like it's almost. I don't know. I don't want to say it was stupid or dumb or anything because he can retweet whatever he wants, but yeah, it's not. It's just not smart.
It wasn't smart.
Just
Right.
wasn't sweet. That's all.
It
Boy.
just wasn't. You just can't. I mean, Stafford, the company you work for, you
You
can't.
you can't
Even on
just
your
say anything.
Facebook page, you can't go out and start, saying whatever. They can fire you for that. And that has happened.
Nah,
Teams got desperate.
they will take down my page quick.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much
Right.
the
But
drama for them right now.
Yeah. That's the yeah. Yeah, it's
Those contracts, they sign restrict what they can post online. It ain't just that. It's I don't know. Your job. I guess it depends on who you work for. If you're going to work for a big company in any industry, you can't just post what you want to post like that. I understand freedom of speech is a thing, but it's also a myth. It just depends on I don't know. It just depends on the context of what you're talking about. Everybody does not have freedom of speech in all cases all the time. You have to be accountable for what you say when you're working for somebody else. Or you can just work for yourself and say whatever you want.
Right.
Hmm.
He's
I mean,
wrong.
it
It's
depends.
all
Kerry
politics to
Costa,
me.
right. I mean, he was he was wrong in the sense that when you work for a company, you can't do things like that.
Right.
You can't. None of us can.
I
None
know
of us.
I can. No
None
way.
of us can. I mean, this was a big thing a while ago when Facebook just came on. People were like,
Mhm.
I should be able to post whatever I want on
Yep.
my personal Facebook page. Remember that was a big thing?
Yep. I know
And
some
then-
people that's been
yeah.
fired personally that has happened to. And not just Facebook, Twitter. Like
Mhm.
companies follow your pages. It just depends on
Mhm.
who you work for. If you're working for one of these Fortune 500 companies, please don't think you can just say whatever you want to say on social media.
Right.
There's a
It's
reason why
freedom
you
of
don't.
speech. You're not
Right.
gonna go to jail, but that don't mean you won't get fired.
Right. It's a reason why you don't see people that work for those companies say stuff like that. Or when they do say stuff like that, that's when, the cancel culture comes in.
No, but they can create a burner account and let loose. Like,
Yeah,
why even?
but that's what I'm saying. You just got to be. Kyrie should have been smart and did that. He should have did what KD did. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do it from your personal page. Like, that's not going to fly with any company that makes money or makes money off of you. Once you start bringing negative stuff to the brand, then yeah, you will have to get dealt with. That's just business.
Right. Right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, we good, man. At least I am. Salute to the chat. Salute to Steph for having me again every week,
Of
every
course.
Thursday now at 9:00. You know, what I mean, we
Thurs-
used to run Tuesday night. Now we running Thursday night into Friday. We actually is going like we under 2 hours. Like we got to talk for like another 3 minutes so we can have this like a 2 hour plus show. I blame us being short on Tsunami. Not here. The bowling chick is not here. Salute to her. She's not feeling well. But if
Right.
she was on
Yeah.
this show, we would definitely be off around like 12:30, 12:45. So salute to her.
Yeah, because cause she RJ ain't playing good, so that's why she ran in high tonight.
Right.
Talk about she got a cough.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if she was on this show, Saf, with us talking about RJ like that? She would all that voice would have got high pitched so many times. What? If we would have been talking about RJ like that if Tsunami was here, it wouldn't have happened like that. Let's just say that.
If she wasn't sick and she came on the bench, she would have still been sick from us talking about RJ.
I'm surprised she didn't come on here and cough all over the mic when we were talking about RJ. She got the name. She could have came on. I'm surprised she didn't. She must really be sick. Get well, Tsunami. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Yeah, get well, mama. Get well.
All right. We
Feel
are
better. Thursday, 9:00. Thursday, 9:00.
next Thursday, 9:00. Every Thursday,
Oh,
9:00.
yeah.
This is where we will be.
Salute to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, chat.
The
smash the
new
like button,
Thursday
subscribe.
night on the
Yep, we the Cosby Show now.
yeah.
Every Thursday night. You know what it is.
Peace.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. The like button would tell me where you at. Step from the MBK, born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Don't talk,
Where you at?
don't talk,
Where you at?
don't talk,
What?
don't talk.
What?